you all of the action throughout the Urban Championships. And joining me in the commentary for the trials is the 6 times the British champion, the legend that is Andre. And Andre, good to have you here. We've got some fantastic races, some fantastic trials coming up. Run us through what these riders are facing. It's a pretty simple format, isn't it?
Yes, Matt, thank you for the great introduction there. Yeah, it's a pretty simple format. Essentially, they're going to be gaining points through each of the sections. 5 sections and 6 gates in each section, so 60 points per section. Rider with the highest number of points wins. And
that is all about getting over without touching the floor, basically. So if you touch the floor with any part of your body, that's going to take you out. And scoring more points is the name of the game.
Yeah, essentially, if you touch any part of the bike other than the tyres, you're going to be given a penalty point, and that will go against you. So you lose the 10 points for the obstacle that you are attacking at that point. And then you have a 2-minute time limit per section as well. So you have to try and get all the way through within 2 minutes of each section.
Well, the master of this is, of course, Nina Reichenbach from Germany. She is absolutely phenomenal. Didn't take away the gold, take a silver last year, indeed against Vera Barron, but Barron has had a bit of an issue in the qualification for this, and that's going to make a difference, isn't it?
Yeah, so actually, so Nina Reichenbach is 4 times UCI World Champion, and then last year Vera did manage to steal the win. And in qualification, Vera unfortunately missed a section on her second lap when she handed in her car, and she got 100 penalty points. So she's actually been put down into second, which means if it goes down to a tie break, it will go back to the results from the semi-final. And there we go. That means that whoever was highest placed in the semi-final will win, which in this case will be Nina.
It will be Nina, and we've seen some great competition. We can just see on the screens at the moment the mix of sports that makes up the Urban Championships. We've got flatland, we've got park, we've got trials, all set here underneath the Nations Tower, all part of the Bike Festival Abu Dhabi, the World Championships here in 2022, and it'll be back here in 2024. Now the course is down below us here in our commentary box. We're looking down, and we get to watch this and enjoy this. The guys on there, they are going to be judging, some real experience there.
Yeah, so this list of names on your screen at the moment is basically showing the guys that are going to be judging the riders as they go through. They're going to be looking incredibly closely, looking for people touching their pedals as they go over these really complex obstacles, giving the penalty points, checking the times, etc. So they are very experienced judges from all over the world.
So let's take a little bit of a look in and through the course. So
we are at the trial section for the coming World Championships here in Abu Dhabi. This is the first section based on the, local elements like the sun is the most element that you can find here in Emirates. So we have created this section using precast concrete. It's a section with the rider have to going up to this small surface and going down one sector to the other sector.
Yeah, so Danny Paramon there.
This is the palm tree section. For me, is the most beautiful section here in Abu Dhabi. You use palm tree. Never before we have worked with this kind of material, so it's completely new for everyone. So we have created different position of the locks, like a picado. So they offer super technical and sometimes scary movements, like this hook. Like I can jump directly from the top and going down. So for me, it's one of the most beautiful sections here of the world. This boat is not for sailing, neither for fishing. It's for trials, the World Championship. This is a nice waterfall on my back. This is the 5 section. We have created a lake where water plays an important role. Also, the sun. This is the 5 section. Will be decisive to know the new world champions.
There we go, that was Danny Paramon just showing us through the 5 sections that we've got here, showing you a couple of them and the aspects that we're going to be seeing in the competition today. And most importantly, the 5th section, going through the water and the sand onto the rocks, creates a whole new element, and that's going to be very, very key in deciding who's going to be world champion, especially if it comes down to a very close race at that point.
I'm going to see, so you can see the qualifiers. They're going to go in reverse order on to the course, and we're going to see them in action. Now, this, in theory, is going to be a race, a competition between the two at the top, isn't it? Between Baron and Reichenbach. But you can't discount people like Caminos and Anderson. You know, one issue, one problem is going to be over, and we can see our riders. So run us through the riders, Andre. Here we've got Leia here.
Yeah, so Leia Esqui, she is from Spain. She's a rider for Comas Bikes. Been doing really well the last couple of years. Really, I saw her training in Spain last week. She was looking really strong. She's done incredibly well. So she qualified in 6th place, so she will be heading out onto the sections first, and we'll be riding one rider at a time. Next, 5th, was Irene Caminos. She's also from Spain. Obviously, Spain, a very dominant force in the world of trials. She's going to be heading out 2nd onto the section, so she qualified in 5th place in the semi-finals.
And not a huge point difference between them, 40 points separating them in that qualifying, so 460 and 500 for Caminos, but closer, 520 for our next rider.
Next rider being Hilda Andersson, all the way from Sweden. Again, she came onto the scene not so long ago, last couple of years, and just been going strength to strength. I've seen some of her training, and it's been absolutely fantastic. And she's had some really great results. I believe she's been on the podium in World Cups and stuff as well. And
so going to be interesting to see how she does. She's on 520 points. Up next, 560 points for our rider from the Czech Republic.
Yes, Eliska Hrybkova from the Czech Republic. She's quite new to the sport. I haven't actually seen her riding too much. I'm quite excited to see how she gets on in the finals today. But the Czech Republic team are looking very strong, and they have some great backing. And then one of the biggest names in trials at the moment, Vera Baron, her and her brother pushing things really hard all the way from Madrid, Spain. Current world champion as well, and 2nd through from the semi-finals.
Now, she scored 560 points, but we were doing the math. She was penalised 100 points on the way through.
Yeah, for missing the section.
For missing out a section. If you work it back, she'd have been much closer to Nina Reichenbach. Nina Reichenbach, silver medalist last year, am I right?
Silver medalist last year, also many times, I don't know how many times, German champion, and also 5 times at UCI World Champion already, and she is really gunning for her 5th World Champion title.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. She's basically not got the jersey to defend. She's going to go look to take it back, and I think sometimes when a rider misses and loses the World Championship, they lose out. That almost spurs them back on. You can,
yeah, it's like going back to stage 1 and like their first win again, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, exactly, and that's going to be really interesting. These guys, absolutely amazing skills going to see on show, and as you can see, no problems on our presentation with the balance and that quick hop straight back off the podium stage there and down towards the course. Now, you were competing early on this self-same terrain, but of course the course does change from rider to rider, from competitor to competitor, and part of that is going to mean that those people who can familiarise themselves quickly, who learn the course really fast, are going to have that advantage. That's all part of the sport, isn't it? It's not just riding it blind.
So actually, you're not allowed to ride it first at all. You're not allowed to ride in the competition area at all. So you have to walk through and really know your skills and work out where you can fit your bike, where you can fit your wheels, how's best to ride each move for you, and the best way to move smoothly and efficiently as possible through the section. And here, like we saw Danny Paramon saying, we have sand on the floor, goes with the desert, and actually adds such a big element, because not only is it difficult to ride through the sand itself, anybody that's ridden a bike and like tried to ride in a bit of sand and just suddenly loses the wheels out to the side will know it's incredibly difficult to ride on sand. But also the sand then sticks to your tyres, goes up onto the obstacles, and these, especially for this first section, these painted concrete blocks, this crazy setup that they've built, and they've done a great job of building it, but it means that it makes it really slippery, and that's a whole nother element. So if you're actually slightly off centre line of one of these pipes, your tyres are going to be flying all over the place.
So this is the final look that they're going to get before they go hit this and score points. One run through, no second chances. And the race referees, the commissaires who are here from the UCI, they have assistance in judging and scoring, making sure that everybody's observing, everyone's watching. The scrutiny that the competitors are under is immense, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
really
the
close.
Time pressure is there as well. So the clock will run, and it starts the moment that they set off from the gate. So the clock up and running for our first competitor, and that is going to put the pressure on.
Yep, so here we go. We've got Leia going through gate 1 here, picking up 10 points through that first one, up on the back wheel, down into the sand, and you can see just trying to pedal really smoothly and lightly across the sand. So that's her first 10 points. She's 25 seconds into the section already. And lining up, going to hook the front wheel straight over that green pipe. She's got to try and get her back wheel dead center on that slippery painted concrete tube. And then a big burst of power to back wheel. Yes, nicely done there. Picking up 20 points so far through section 1 for Leia. Let's see how she gets on with gate number 3. Now, it's also worth mentioning each gate can be built up of A, B, C, or D sections. So it's not just passing one obstacle, it can actually be made up of 3 or 4 or more sections of each gate. So instead of just getting over one obstacle, it can be a lot of obstacles to make up one gate. So there she's through sector 3. So 30 points so far. She's looking really good. Just over halfway through on her time. She needs to start motoring on. Here we go. So setting up, going to be going up to back wheel, pushing the front wheel, hooking it onto that edge. All of these pipes are built slightly different angles, and also they feel slightly different where the back wheel is, I've noticed as well. So you need to be really in the center. Yeah, holding on back tyre along through that next one. I believe that's 40 points, yep. And then this next short run up. So by making this run up short instead of putting on another length of tube behind, it means you've got to switch to your bad foot. So she's got to get her balance. I'm assuming she's going to do a couple of different ways of doing it. Decided she's run out of time, not going to go for it. So 40 points there for Leia. That's a pretty good score, I'd say.
So great to see Leia in action. She started off, she's got about 3/4 of the way through the run, 40 points up there to those available points. Yeah, at the back, job done. It sets the marker, doesn't it? Now, there's only a limited amount of time, and you can see here, the run is one of the things to mention for people who are not into trials. We can see those little black tags either side. They actually have the markers of where you can go through. So you've got to land. It's effectively a bit like skiing, going through a gate.
Absolutely.
But they're tiny little tags, and that shows where they can go. Now, you can see on this painted section, as we see our second competitor start.
Yep, so we've got Irene going through section 1. Like you were saying, you can actually see from this angle, so she's following all of the pink gates, which is the women's sections. So she's got to go through all of the pink gates. Now you can see on the right and left of that green tube that she's balancing on now, there's little black tags from this side, there'll be pink from the other side, and you've got to get the whole centre line of the bike from axle to axle straight through the middle of these. So the commentators here are watching really closely to make sure as they go through, both axles and the centre of the bike go straight through each of the markers. If you jump off to the side and you're behind the marker, that's 5 points, you're disqualified. That's you over for that whole section. So it's really important to make sure the bike goes right the way through. So here we go. This is really, really tight. Spin round all the way on the back wheel. Pop the front wheel down, the big switch up to the back tyre. Yes, nicely done. So of course, these girls train a lot. They really are training so much, especially the Spanish team. That's why we have so many in the finals.
And we've seen here on this same section, it seems to be the really challenging part. You said it does vary, and we've seen both competitors drop down, go back up, re-hook up onto that front wheel. So both riders finding that same part really techy, but very quickly round there as she came in through. And that clock is ticking. We're on less than 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, so
she's going to look to get an advantage here. She's got to really move, but I think she's going to run out of time, surely.
Yep, so the clock we see on the screen may be just a few seconds out, so it's not the official time. The commentators live there have the exact time, so she may have a couple of extra seconds to just push through that last gate. But 40 points there for Irene.
So great to see our first two competitors out on this course, and there's a limited time for the next competitor to start. So next up is Hilda Anderson. She's got to follow on here, Irene Camininos. So she was going well, she looked good, but ran out of time on this very same section.
Yes, exactly. So it's really going to be, for these next girls, they know that they're going to have to try and push hard, because You want to get an early advantage in points to give you a bit of a leeway later on in the competition, so they can ride a little bit quicker, a little bit smoother, get 50 or maybe even 60 points and just push through as fast as they can. Don't want to hang around too much. And Hilda straight in, already through 10 points, looking for that second gate. Yes. So you'll notice that she didn't hang around very much trying to steady her balance, much more confident, straight up to the hook to the front wheel, knowing that she's in the right place and going straight for that next move. And you'll notice here, if you look at her tyres, just pulling the sand up onto these pipes, which of course is going to completely mess with the traction of the tyres on the pipes.
And does that give the advantage? We see here she's right in the middle of the pack. As more runs go on in each of the run, each time, if you're last riding, there's going to be more sand, more lubrication of those tiny granules underneath between your tyre and the solid surface. That is presumably going to give some advantage to whoever goes first. Who is
absolutely,
the
I mean,
lowest
you'll probably see a lot more, but maybe more in the elite guys later on. If there's specific points that they think are very, very slippery, you'll see them just before they start, they'll just run over and make sure it's like clean before they go, because little things like that can make a huge difference. We saw some huge crashes in the elite semi-finals yesterday. So Hilda is showing why she has been doing so well, because she's actually about 15-20 seconds ahead of all the others. So she's got time to make this next gate, which will give her a 10-point advantage if she can get it. Oh, slipping back, unfortunately. Now, that is a really short run-up, so instead of adding an extra pipe at the bottom and giving a longer run-up, what they've done is made it nice and short, and that means that technically it's way more challenging. The shorter the run-up, the more difficult it is.
So here on the replay, high speed, very quickly into the run and very quickly through the first few obstacles, which really gave her the chance to try and open the score up a little bit.
Yep.
Showing here just how quick she was. She's not messing about on the way through, but didn't come to her advantage. Now our Czech rider up here, fourth rider, Eliska Tribikova, is going to be in. So Elisa's going to be our rider who hopefully is going to be able to motor her way in through here. 10 points already on the clock, Andre.
Yes, okay, so she's making her way up to this second gate. She's going to know that she really needs to move. Now, the thing is with trials is you need to be, of course, very, very cautious to make sure that you're in the right place, so that you don't slip when you try and do a move, and your body position is correct for the balance, to put the power in. But if you move too quickly, you're gonna miss those points. So it's finding that balance, and the more controlled and accurate you can be, but smooth and quick, is going to definitely give you an advantage. The advantage of the positive scoring system that we're using here now, which actually I started using in my competitions in 2015 in the UK. Oh, just having a little bit of a tumble there. Managing to control her balance. I think she's lost 1 point, so that means she can't get the points for this next gate because she actually touched the pedal before the gate, which means she's still got to go through gate 3, but she won't gain those 10 points. So she's going to be on a bit of pressure now. She's going to have to really get moving if she wants to try and hit another 40-point score and at least stay in with the chance for the other girls as well. So going for a slightly different approach to the next one. So the other girls go around the back there. Here we go, let's see. Yes, hook in the front tyre. You see she's got to stay dead centre. You can see on that view, got to stay dead centre with the back wheel. Although the pipes are quite wide, because they're painted and of course they're round, the actual surface that you can use is much, much thinner than what you can see. The back wheel. So 15 seconds left. Is she going to be able to get lined up and get through this next gate? If she does, she's going to stay. Oh, it's going to be close on time. She needs to get a move on. Come on, Eliska, come on. Here we go. I think she's just going to run out. You can see the commissionaire there. Yeah, time's over. Unfortunately, she's going to be on 30 points. But 10 points. It's not a huge difference. Not a huge difference to the girls before her.
You can just see she spent a lot of time stabilising up on the top. She seems to just not be quite as planted in and secure on those obstacles, which for somebody who qualified or where she did in third place, what's changed?
I think she's probably feeling the pressure. You know, you qualify third, she's thinking, okay, I can get on the podium here. You know, this could be a really good day, and that can put you under a lot of pressure. And of course, in a sport like this, when you're balanced, that is something that you need to think about. You need to be able to control that pressure, and that's where the likes of Vera, as she makes her start in the World Championships for 2022 to try and keep that rainbow jersey, she's going to be trying to move nice and quickly, very confident. So you can see just pedaling through this sand is really sapping. When we were riding the semi-finals yesterday, I couldn't believe how tiring it was just moving through the sand and trying to control the balance and not let the bike squirm around and disappear underneath you. So just cutting the corner there, which is good. Dropping in nice and fast. You see she's got a minute 10 here. She's going to need to get a move on. So she is slightly faster, I think, to this point. And the other girls, yeah, you see that really confident front wheel on and just a big pull on the bars, straight to back wheel, fast as she can. So she's already on the 30 points. Backwards through that gate so that she's more set up straight for the next move, saving a couple of seconds. And look at that, she's got 50 seconds left.
And so smooth through that section, one tiny little section like that saves so much time. Now this is the pressure point, isn't it? This is where everybody's failed so far.
So it looks like she's going to go for back wheel and then up to the front. Oh, okay, managed to hook through. I didn't even think the bike would fit on there. So she's done really well there. So up to 40 points, or 50 points, sorry. And here we go. She's got one last hook. She's got 25 seconds. She can do this. She can get 60 on this first section. Just keep her composure. Got to pull that front wheel in to that, just on the inside of that marker on the right-hand side there. That's something that the commissioner there, as he's watching, that's what they're looking for. And boom, 60 points.
That is the gauntlet thrown down.
Done, Vera, that's great. So now Nina knows that she's going to have to, the pressure is on for her to keep up with Vera. That's kind of the advantage of going second, I'd say, or, you know, going out before the winner. So it means that if she starts well, a bit like she just has done, then she can keep the pressure on, and it's up to Vera to actually really keep going, because once she starts losing it, it's a whole psychological battle, really.
And the whole thing here is we're seeing that play out. So here we go. It is Nina Reichenbach going for a 5th title. Didn't manage to take it away last time, beaten by Vera Baron, who's just put in the highest score of 60 points, which means she's got to get right the way through here, and the pressure is on Nina. You've seen Nina, you've seen her compete.
Yeah,
she's looking good.
I've known Nina for a very long time now. We were out in Spain for a couple of weeks, just training before this trip, actually, and she was looking incredibly good. She's really been working on balance and control, and as you can see, she is flying through, looking very, very confident. Here we go, up and back wheel on the sand there, throwing the front wheel in. She's got a minute left, and again, she does that backwards move down, setting herself up. She's a couple of seconds faster than Vera to this point. But this move here is really what I would say is the crux of the section. This is the very, very difficult point. Get yourself centered and balanced. She switched round to her left foot there. So she's going to do it. I think she's going to go for a half pedal. Yep. Yes, she's got through. Just over 30 seconds left to get through this last gate to get the 60 points and keep in touch with Vera. She doesn't want to let her get an early start. 26 seconds, hooking the front wheel. This is where you don't want to rush. She's almost lost her balance there, but held it nicely. That's it, relaxing and out the end.
Job done.
60 points for Nina Reichenbach in section 1.
So tied at the top of the standings at the end of that first section. Running through there, you could see Vera looking slightly more confident, but this was a good run from Nina here. So as you can see, going straight on there.
Look at the confidence on that. You notice how she just goes up, she's balanced, she's in the right place, she just switches straight away. That's a lot of experience, that is. And then straight into backwards dismount there. Just the fastest and most efficient way, and gets you set up nicely for the next move. All these little kinds of movements are the things that make a big difference in the overall score. Giving these girls a chance to get through and get those last points on the gates.
And knowing what they've got coming up and knowing where they're going to. There's no point getting onto the other side, not knowing where your exit point is going to be. You've got to be lined up for it. The better you can do that, the better off they're going to be. So at the moment, with the work to make up, you can see Hrikova in 6th place, Esquez in 5th, Kamenos in 4th position there. But all of the riders are chasing our top 2, and already you can see they are out on to the course once again. It's coming thick and fast. Very, very busy here today.
Yep, so here we go. We have Leia making her attack on section 2, the rock section. So you can see they've got really nice grass area here. Obviously fake grass, of course. So, yep, just working her way. She's unfortunately on 3 points already, but that essentially means 4 points, so she can have a maximum of 5 points per section. So she can carry on until she gets to 5 points. It means that she doesn't get the points for the gate that she is trying, but she can carry on through the section. All right, here we go, lining up for gate number 4. You see the back wheel sliding back there. I looked at this earlier on, I said this was definitely going to be the crux of the section. Number 4, yes, switching to the back wheel, straight down the far end there. So, very, very technical section. Rocks are, of course, very, very technical, and a lot of these girls, a lot of trials riders ride and train a lot on rocks, so they're kind of used to it, but every rock type is slightly different. Now this move here, I'm very interested to see how they get on with this. And that's unfortunately 5 points, as you saw her centre line on the bike just rolled over that marker on the right hand side, but she was pretty much out of time there. So not a terrible score. Managed to get on the scoreboard, unfortunately just a few too many points. I know she'll be a bit disappointed, but there we go, a little highlight of that second gate. Putting a foot down there, so she didn't get the points for the second gate. And then this awkward little switch move, front wheel onto that corner. And next up we have Renee. Here we go, onto gate number 2 already. Yeah, still clean, so that's another 10 points. 20 points total, so she will just, I think that will put her level now with Leia. So look at this, steep hook. Oh, she's put a foot down. I don't know if that was a bit of lost balance.
And she's trying to recover from this, isn't she, Andre? So yeah, this is it key here, to continue with the run. She's got to basically get moving without putting another foot down, without touching somewhere else.
Yeah, so you can actually, the rules say you can move your bike, you can reposition your bike when your foot is on the floor. But obviously, each time you move it, you lose a point. So because you can have a maximum of 5 points, you can only move it so much. And each time you get an extra penalty point. So you'll see the observer has, or the commissioner has, 2 fingers up, that's 2 points. So she loses the points for that gate, but she can carry on until you get a maximum of 5. You put a hand down, that's 5 points. You touch your pedal, you touch your crank, you touch anything, you get penalised for that, and you get a point taken off, and you can't score the points for the next gate in front of you, or the gate that you're attempting at that point. So you can see here, although she's on 3 points, she still has gained. She's won 20 points already in this section, as she goes for gate number 4. So she's only lost the points from gate number 3. Okay, here we go. Yes, through number 4. So she's up to 30 points. This is good. So I believe that is the same as Leia. Possibly 10 more.
So just watching the scores update, bottom right-hand side of your screen, 7 points. Now she's going to move up through into the lead. 80 points versus 70 for Esquez. Yeah. Goes through and then just rolls her way out. And you can see still a successful run there and a good recovery after that issue on the way through. And the competitors are looking to me like they really want to get moving. The sun is really starting to come on. It's 33 degrees in the shade.
That is something we haven't talked about yet. The fact that it is absolutely roasting here. Yeah, it is incredibly hot. There's not a lot of shade actually here, so yeah, it's very tough. I mean, they're quite lucky that they're riding at a time where the shade has just hit the course from the big towers just to the side of the competition area. So it's cast a little bit of a shadow for the time being, which will be very, very nice for them. Riding in this heat yesterday was not fun.
Definitely.
Well, actually, it was fun because I love the competition.
But I was going to say, I watched you go through some of the roads, and the sections on here, I mean, the focus and the concentration, the difference in you in the commentary box to you on the bike is the same for these athletes out here. Our competitors at the moment, you can just see, look at that.
Such a shame. That was a 5 for Hilda there. That is such a shame. She really tried to go for that move. It's a really, really tricky move to kind of pull the front, throw it to the right place. Looks like we're going to get a nice replay of that. A replay of her run there. But yeah, these you do kind of get into a little bit of a meditative state, as it were, where you just kind of want to stay in a little bubble, keep yourself focused and relaxed, and just concentrate on what you're doing. Right, here we go. So Aliska is in for Team Czech Republic. There we go, up on the back wheel. Look at the second gate. Yep, nice and smooth through there. I have to say they've done a great job building such a beautiful looking course, and actually a very varied and technical set of sections as well. So Aliska deciding to go for the foot down, especially after seeing Hilda slip on this. These rocks, although they look incredibly grippy, actually they've kind of got quite a lot of quartzite in them, so they're quite a slippy texture, especially after a few riders have been over the same point of the rock. It's kind of like smoothed it off and polished it a little bit, so it's it has become a little bit more slippery than you would like. Here we go, so going up onto this little edge of the rock there, trying to get herself balanced. Yep, pulling the front wheel back over that edge. So 20 points so far, just over half her time gone in the section.
And just the one red light at the moment, so let's see how this goes, because she's doing okay, 30 on there at the moment.
Yep, so 30 points so far, she's doing well. 40 is the best we've seen so far, I think, on this section. Here we go, come on. Yes, up to 40. Doing well. And then just through this last gate. Now this last gate, when we walked it, I was thinking, how on earth are they going to do this? They've managed to find out. You do this technical line around the side here. Twisting around on the point, a lot of balance and control on the back wheel. Oh, and straight through. I didn't even see that line. That was really good thinking. They really walked these sections properly. Set up to the front. Yes, it was okay. How many points was that? 50? I believe that was 50 points. That was a great score there from Aliska. See a little replay of that action.
So the updates taking Aliska right the way up into 80 points here. So the Czech rider at the moment level with coming up. We've got Esquez on 70. But remember, we are going to see just what happens as these riders go through. And the competition really gets tougher, doesn't it? Because the further in we're going, the tougher it gets down. Baron on to this same section here. What's she going to score? She's now already moving up through. She's moved herself up into third place already. Now she should be able to push ahead, and now hits 80 points in total out on the course. The previous points added to the points she accrues as she goes, so it's a live score, isn't it?
Indeed. So this is the technical bit. We haven't seen any girl get through that point so far, and she's just managed to go completely clean through there, getting her tyre placement absolutely inch perfect from Vera there, and she shoots herself up already into first place so far, and she's still got another 30 points that she can pick up. 20 points now as she gets 40 so far on this section, and not even half her time gone. So she's moving really swiftly through here, and look at that, she didn't do the technical little line around. Instead she put her straight up to back wheel.
Pure power straight over there, wasn't it? It was just able to have power, technique, being able to apply it.
I saw a video of her doing a triple back squat at 120 kilos the other day.
Ouch.
Yeah, which is pretty good. She weighs around 60, so it's pretty mad.
That's like double body weight.
Yeah.
And
strong,
a
very strong.
little mistake there, just having to go drop down and come back.
Yeah, but she's managed to keep nice bit of composure. She's got really good amount of time left. Look at that, 30 seconds left as she goes out the end of the section, and a full 60 points. So pressure on for Vera, who's up next. She knows she's going to have to clean section 2, or at least get as close to as possible. Let's go recap. You can really see in these slow-mo replays just how imperfect you need to be with the tyre placement on these rocks. So here we go. We are in with Nina. I believe she's on about 20 points as she goes for gate 3. Gonna go for that hook in the front wheel. So you can see the bike kind of trying to twist and move around. You need to get it in exactly the right 2 points on the rock so it just stays straight as you can pull back on the handlebars, throw a weight forwards. Oh yes, look at that balance. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. So looking really strong so far, 30 points through already. Slightly slower than Vera at this point, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. Up to back wheel. Straight through 40 points.
That composure. She's really poised, and it shows in those moments of stillness where she's just keeping the bike in position.
Yeah.
There's no correction, there's no body movement, is there?
No, she's looking really, really solid. I mean, I spoke to her before the competition, and she looked very happy with the sections. She said she thought they looked really great. It'll be a good challenge. So she's going for a slightly different approach from Vera, going for this technical line, and her technical ability has really improved in the last year. She's been training very, very hard at these kind of lines. So here we go. I think she's going to be out for 60 points as well. 20 seconds, easy pedal up to back wheel, straight through the finish. So Vera and Nina absolutely level pegging, 120 points apiece, with a nice clear lead, 80 points. In third place we have Aliska and Irene Kaminos on 80 points in fourth, Leia in fifth on 70 points, and Hilda at the moment 60 points down in sixth place. But that's just 2 sections down, 3 sections left to go.
So here at the 2022 UCI Trials World Championships here, all part of the Urban World Championships. You can see the recap on the scores there. Our 2 leaders, Nina Reichenbach and Vera Baron from Germany and Spain, tied at 120, both with perfect scores so far, but we're into one of our really deep sand sections, and this section has been one where that sand does play a part, particularly on some of the angle of these rocks. We walked through this earlier on, and we could see really there's a lot of slope to this, and there's some very narrow contact points as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so on the rock section before, because you're coming off of the AstroTurf, off of the grass, your tyres are nice and clean. You don't need to worry about too much slipping wise. But here you've got grains of sand all over the place, so grip level is a big problem. And also, just going across the sand just takes a lot more time and a lot more effort. I mean, even the very top riders I've seen still get points just from riding over the sand alone. You know, forget the obstacles. You just ride across the sand and the wheel just disappears, and you're like, what happened? And I saw a lot of that yesterday. So you've really got to be absolutely on it. It's a slightly different element. You know, you're coping with less grip levels. So you see there, her front tyre just kind of slipped off the edge of the rock, and she went down, put a pedal down, used her foot to go back up, go through that gate. So that means she lost 2 dabs, but only lost the points for that gate. So you'll see on the scoreboard at the top there of your screen, 2 red points, that's 2 dabs, and just losing the points for that 1 gate. So 40 points so far, and then they've got this crazy kicker move, which when we walked around earlier, I just couldn't believe they've got this. They've got to have a really big run up and go up the sea of the UCI giant letters they built here.
Oh, and not going to be that time. You just saw, didn't you, on that start there, the little skip on the front wheel, put the power down, and the front wheel just moved underneath, didn't it? And that was enough. It's going to put you off.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's not like a racetrack. You don't have that perfect start. You're going out of sand, and you're going onto painted wooden boards that are covered in sand. If you just start on that wooden board and put all your power down through the pedals, there's no way your rear tyre is going to grip and you're going to get enough speed. You have to have all the pressure in the rear wheel, pull back perfectly, and just try and keep that momentum moving and up through that kicker as well. So here we go. We move on to Irene. Let's see how she is getting on. 10 points already through the first gate. She lines up for gate number 2. She's going to be hooking that front wheel over the bottom corner. Then a big pull on the handlebars. Just learning this next movement now. That movement there up to the back wheel takes so long to be able to get really confident and accurate with that, and being able to throw the bike into all these different positions.
Now when we're out, you're saying this is really a tricky move here, because you've got this big rock to the side. There's a limited amount of room to maneuver. Get this wrong, it's really going to hurt.
Yeah, so you can see that just next to her left leg there, it's very tight. So not easy to maneuver past that. And then moving straight on to gate number 4. So 30 points already. It's Steve-O in the audience. He was competing yesterday from Great Britain. Right, here we go. Gate number 4. This is where we saw, so you just see that ever such a slight touch of the pedal, and Commissioner's really on it there, watching very closely. Tiniest touch of the pedal, and she's got 1 point for that. Lost the points for gate number 4. So here we go. See how she gets on with number 5. Switching through. Back wheel, lovely bit of balance. And down for this run-up. And she's decided she's not going to go for the run-up. Not a lot of time left either, 10 seconds. Probably not enough time to get set up and composed and pedal hard for that last move.
So a really tactical withdrawal at that point. Just go, not doing that. That's
yep.
And
it'll be really interesting to see if anybody can get that last gate, that number 6. She's got 40 points there, one penalty point. So you can see there, just that tiny touch with the pedal.
And it was next to nothing, but the commentators here, I mean, they're absolutely on it like hawks. And I mean, they're all riders, they're all...
Absolutely.
2 or 3 of them have ridden down from the hotel down to the venue as well. They brought the bikes with them, understandably. I mean, it's an amazing place to ride here in Abu Dhabi. But they've got to stay focused on the runs. And Hilda Anson here, she's got to keep that composure and keep the bike rolling here as smooth as she can. She's coming in to this turn here, staying on that wood as long as you can. Hop into the sand there. Is that just to stop the front wheel from picking up as much debris?
Yeah, I mean, if you jump further into the sand, it means you've got less sand to go through, so it just makes it a little bit easier. And of course, going back wheel first takes a lot of the weight out as the front wheel hits. So rather than just ploughing the front wheel in and it sliding out to one side, much better to stay forward. But there we go. You see, she stayed nice and clean through there. So she's on 40 points already. So she's starting to claw back some of those points that she missed in the last section, which I know will be playing on her mind, but at this point in the competition, you just need to put that out of your mind and really ride as well as you can for the rest of the section. Is she going to go for this last one? Okay, so this is interesting. Oh, no. That is a shame. I think what she was... I'm wondering whether she was actually wondering if she could go up to the top of the
before to hopping across
and then
to
gap
into
across instead of trying to go for the kicker.
Well, that would be a really interesting line if she managed to do that rather than going for the straight power and onto the sea.
The second part of the U has actually got rope around it, so you can't use the second part. So you'd have to do quite a big gap across.
Wow.
Yeah. That would be pretty big.
Either that or the pressure starting to get in there, but it's a long way. You'd have to clear the whole of the U.
They've actually taken the rope off, so actually, yeah, you can go all the way across, but it's pretty time consuming because you're gonna have to go up. So you're gonna have to really go fast in the first part of the section, and when it's slippery and covered in sand like this, it's not easy. So we're here with Aleska on. She's already on 20 points, 30 points now. Straight into the sand, back onto the wood.
Last section, she was sitting in 3rd place. She was 40 points off the lead at the end of the last run through. So she really does need to move now because, I mean, we've got over a third of the competition covered. She's got to keep in touch. She can't afford to drop points. And if she can get a good score, and again, that's now 2 on there. She repositions that bike. Got to reset her brain as well, set the bike.
All the time, we're just trying to... all riders are trying to do is work out how you can fit your bike onto these rocks and look for secure points. And the problem is with that rock before is trying to get to that secure point where the wheels actually fit and stay is very, very difficult. She made a little mistake there kicking up to the back wheel, but held onto it nicely. And she's got 34 seconds left, so actually she can still get through this last gate and come away with 50 points. See if she's going to make it.
She's going for it. She's on to the rock, but the ascent on to the wood up onto the U is tricky in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, trying to balance there and get herself through, but you see at this point now she's taking a dab. There's no point in carrying on because of course she can't get the points for the last bit anyway. But still 40 points, that's not too bad of a score. I think that should be good enough to keep her in 3rd place. At least at the moment she is sitting in 3rd.
It's still very, very tight at the top of the standings, isn't it? And this was a good run here. I think in some ways she let the frustration out at the end of that run, but she'd done some really good recovery. Yes. A good reset of her head after having a few issues.
Yeah, she managed to compose herself. I could see it a little bit in her riding, a little bit of over kicking on the pedals and stuff here and there, but she managed to keep herself together. And Vera in next and just moving very, very quickly through that first section, already through 10 points. She knows she's going to have to get moving to get out of this section. She's definitely going to want to get 60 points on this.
And hopping through the sand rather than rolling through the sand. So a really interesting move, like hopping everything, keeping one patch of tyre in contact with the sand, not rolling it round, not spreading it around those tyres. And that's just got to help. And every little bit.
Every little bit.
Margins are so tight in this, aren't they? I mean, you talk about inch perfect, but I suppose, to be honest, it's millimetre perfect.
Yeah, it really is a lot of the time. I mean, you know, like literally, when we're walking around, I'm pretty much looking at crystals like the size of your fingernail, you know, like you're just looking at tiny little crystals going like, oh, if I'm on that, it'll be fine. And like, I mean, even yesterday we had a gap that was probably, 2 metre 80 gap across, and you're looking for a point that's the size of your thumb, you know. So she's doing really well. She's 50 points already flying through this section, and she's got 50 seconds left to get this last gate. So she's played this really, really well, motored through what she knows she can get through and given herself a nice rest and a bit of time and a bit of leeway to get through this next part. So hook in the front wheel, which looks really, really awkward, fighting her balance there. Oh, she's done it. She's done it. That's a good fight there. Yes,
You
Vera.
can see that back wheel sliding on the rock. It was going backwards and she managed to motor on. Now the big gap across. Look at this. She's going to be the first one surely to do this now. Not going to make a mistake on landing and still
60 points. 15
Wow.
seconds left. 60 points. Oh, there's a little bit of a...
There's a bit of discussion. They think she's hit the top of the
I'm not
section.
sure what they're saying there. What did they give her? They did give her 60.
She's still shrugging the shoulders. This is going to be open to interpretation. I think at the moment, let's see what the scores come up with. So up onto the top here, we're going to go across, and let's see if we can get a clear look. Remember, she's got to go through, hasn't she?
Yeah, well, she can't not go through. Looks fine to me.
Oh.
I think it's fine. I think it's 60. I don't know what they were talking about.
And
there.
you never argue with the commissaires ever, would you? You'd never disagree with
Me?
the decision, Andre.
Oh,
not at all. Here we go.
That.
Better angle. There's a better angle on this up here.
Yeah, she's perfectly through. Yeah, I think maybe what she was saying is you can see the bounce in the wood. So
yeah.
Yeah, I know that when somebody first stood on that, they kind of went through the top of it, so they reinforced that top piece. You can see there's an extra piece on the top of the C, so it should be okay now.
So pressure on Nina Reichenbach. Reichenbach now onto a run. She's seen the first person to complete it and get a maximum score. So Baron really starting to put the pressure on. What can Reichenbach do? Can she go do this? Is she the sort of rider, Andre, who can do that? Well, I mean, we've seen this run. She's looking good at the moment. She's rolling the sand, though. Is that going to make the difference?
I think Nina can be amazing under pressure. I'm really impressed with how she's fought back as Vera's kind of come onto the scene. And look at that. We saw the first three girls really, really struggle with that move. And Nina and Vera have just flown through that. So really solid there. And Vera and Irene just comparing notes. All right, here we go. Come on, Nina. Nina as well, around 50 seconds. So same pace, same score as we saw Vera on. So she's really holding in there. She knows that this next bit is going to be pretty tricky.
Trying to minimise the amount of time and the amount of movement on the sand, isn't she, there?
Yeah.
To get on here. And we saw this is where the grip on this rock really almost cost Vera.
Look at the front tyre there. It's just literally hanging on kind of nothing. Oh, look at that. She looked comfortable. Really good. See, I told you, Nina can really stand up to the pressure, you know. I think she quite likes the pressure sometimes like this.
Yes.
Straight down to the sand. 60 points.
Absolutely nailed it.
60
no
points.
Problem.
And they were both on kind of 15, 20 seconds left out the end. So really, really level pegging. This is an exciting race.
It's getting so
180
tight.
points. They cleaned all three of the first sections.
Well, we've seen not only do the sections get harder, I mean, this is hard enough, isn't it, Andre? You've got that section onto that ramp on, and then to come on there, she was on a buzz, though, because of this move, up on the back wheel and in.
Really, really nice. Really, really nice movement there. And so this is where, you know, if it carries on like this, it is going to go back to the semi-finals where where Nina was just out ahead. So it's going to be very, very close.
I mean, they are the 1-2 in the world, aren't they, as well? And that makes a big difference, because when you are 1 and 2, you know who your competition is going to be. And it's reflected in those scores, isn't it? I mean, perfect scores so far on the halfway marker. And the rest now, really, it's going to be very difficult
for the podium, really, isn't it? It's fighting for that extra spot on the podium. But there's still 2 sections. There's still 120 points up for grabs. And like we were saying earlier, you can have a puncher on the start of the section and that's it, you're out. So, you know, very, very easy. Now, this is a really, really cool section, like we saw Danny Paramon saying earlier on. We've used these palm tree trunks, which I think is absolutely awesome. It's a very different element, quite technical, loads of different bits on this. So as you're riding, you have to be really, really spot on. They're very grippy, which is great. But yeah, you have to be really spot on as you're riding on these. Now, so far, Leia dropping just 1 point. Can she hold that balance? Oh, just jumping off to the side. I'll tell you what, this is pretty much my worst nightmare in Biketrials, where you don't really have a run up and you just got to start from the bottom and just go
look
straight
at the
up the skinny
movement.
little log.
The trunk itself is almost wobbling with the pressure. She goes off to the side.
Yeah, you can see it's just slightly loose, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's just, I can't help on the way through, because she goes on. But after all of those attempts to then nail that going over, I mean, that shows the composure. And our top 6 here, absolutely amazing. But she
just
really
got to
needs
keep
to move,
fighting.
doesn't she?
Got to keep fighting. Yeah, I mean, 20 seconds left. Just 10 points because she missed. She managed to get 1 point on the 1 dab on the first gate. Oh, a lovely little switch to back wheel there. So that's 20 points on section 4. Yes, there.
She's looking to get through.
I believe. Yes, 30 points. And she's going to not have enough time to go for any more points on this section. But 30 points. I think she's a little bit disagreed with the as you can imagine, there is a lot of disagreements.
And that is why, I mean, we're seeing, you know, 2 commissaires there. It's got to be absolutely spot on. And you can see she's just trying to make sure she gets this dud and then gets over and
really fighting for balance there.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And going out there and putting your hands on that palm, you get hold of it and you move, you get hold, and you can feel it. It's rough, it's almost furry underneath. It's, you know, as it breaks through, it's like the bristles on a mat you might have by your front door. It's so coarse, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's a really interesting type of
surface.
wood, actually. Yeah, because I mean, obviously we ride a lot of competitions. You ride a lot of different types of materials and different structures, but you can really see there that the wood is just kind of really completely different to anything else.
Yeah, so the very tough section where we saw the previous issues. This run, who is going to be able to clean this? So coming us up on to that, look, keeping it, and you just see just lots of little moves there going, rather than 3 big jumps across, 3 big movements, a series of little movements, maybe putting less force into the actual obstacle, into the tree trunk. Maybe a better technique.
Yeah, and the bigger the move, the more likely you are to actually move your wheel placement left or right underneath you, and you lose your balance. So smaller movements are generally more controlled, which means your balance stays more central as well. So that was really nice, slightly different approach, going for the pop-up version of this next beam as well. So the thing is when you ride at something with speed, you do tend to stay completely straight, but with no speed, you do tend to go slightly, you know, it's much harder to keep that center line of balance. Running out of time here, but 30 points, so she's really going to want to get through this next gate, try and get 40 points, which will give her a slight lead there. Yes. Is she going to get it? Is she going to get it? Last time at the bar, so she is going to leave with 30 points out of section 4.
So close. And interestingly, the Spanish team here seem to be fighting the course. They're fighting the conditions. They're talking. You've seen the coaches at the side. We see here, I mean, this is super smooth. Really nice little subtle technique.
Yeah, really
and then
nice.
a bit further down, starting to run against the time, and you can see it here. You know, she's starting to run close on time. She's got to get into that next obstacle. She takes the time to compose, goes into the next one, and then runs out of time. And I don't think that Spanish team are as happy as maybe we'd expect them to be, as we see Hilda Andersson here on the course for Sweden. And she's shown some really good skills. She's been really composed. And again, same spot again, another foot down.
It's very interesting. So all the girls so far have put a foot down on this first gate. And that is actually because, so she got 2 there because she actually lifted her foot and moved it. But that's basically because if they lift the back wheel there, when you lift the back wheel, your momentum is generally moving forward. So it's very difficult to lift the back and turn to the side. So it's basically playing it safe, is putting your foot down. You lose the points for the gate, but it means you can carry on and get the points for the next gates, which of course you need to get as many as you can. So instead of risking that 5 points and overbalancing forwards, it's better to try and get through to the next gates where there's less risk involved. So this looks like, you can see it's quite a tricky move, pulling hard on the handlebars, down and back on the front wheel, switching through to back tyre. Come on, Hilda, here we go. Yes, going for that pedal up line as well. But she's moving fairly quickly. She's a bit faster than the other girls on this one so far. Up to 30 points through the section. If she can get 1 or 2 more gates, it'll be absolutely fantastic.
And it's going to help pull her back up into the running. She's got 18 seconds, getting to 15 seconds. Time is going to run out.
Oh,
No,
look at
she's
that.
not careful.
That was really, really good. She just stayed dead centre line in that, just moved up really swiftly. Perfect little turn at the end. So 40 points.
Almost a smile on her face there, isn't there, Andre? She came in through there. She's looking to get back across.
Oh, there we go. Just out of time. So 40 points. Still a great score.
It's a good score, and it shows on this section just how critical going over that part of the course is, but also shows what it is about being in your head. You can just see she's very accurate, but as those tyres grip, that bark on these palm trees, it's so variable, isn't it? I mean, mass is the grip, but it's constantly changing.
Exactly.
There's no consistency to it either, is there?
No. I mean, actually, what you probably won't notice maybe so much is that when we're riding, or when they're riding as well, you're looking for little tiny points. So you're not just landing anywhere on the wood. You're actually going like, I'm going to land on this little piece of wood where it's flat and it's the right angle, it's the right space, and where the bike fits. So you're actually being literally, like we said, centimetre perfect kind of thing, you know, as opposed to just landing anywhere.
So look at that, straight up there, just rolled away up just on momentum, made that look so easy.
She flew through that, absolutely flew through that. She's doing great on time, showing why she is 3rd place at the moment, 3rd place in the semi-finals. Just jumping back, getting her composure. Oh, she's decided to go through a different way. So I thought that hook looked quite difficult. She's actually decided to go around. So this is going to be interesting. She's going to have to go to back wheel, try and stay on the back tyre and turn. Look at that. Oh, yes! That is a really, really tricky move, I'll be honest. If that was me doing it, I'd be like, oh, I don't know. And I've been riding for a very long time.
Absolute focus. So look at that.
Did you see how she just moved to the side there and her centre line went over that marker? So she only gets 30. She'll be disappointed with that. She was doing really, really well to go from moving. That's such a good technical move on that gate before, and then just a little overbalance on the left.
You can see the frustration. She banged her helmet there, you know, just gave it a crack. Just, you know, what have I done? Because she, like, it's in the blink of an eye, she went from we were just going, this is genius, to what?
Yeah, it's like, yes, no. Unbelievable.
And that's so hard, but she was so good on these sessions. I mean, she made some of this look incredibly easy. And then changing round to this, just that different technique and different rides. This move here, onto the back wheel on the turn, not something everybody's going to do, is it?
No, it looks very, very awkward. The switch up movement is slightly easier, but holding the balance at the top. You can see she's just fighting the balance and just went literally a couple of inches to the left-hand side, and that's it. That's why the commissioners try and stay in centre line with the bike so they can really see whether the bike is actually within the boundaries of the markers or not. So here we go. Vera up in section 4, already 20 points through. Going for gate number 3.
So after that early start,
Going for gate for number 3 now, and she has gone for this the straight forwards option. So she gets her front wheel quite far on the other side. Big pull back. Here we go. So Vera's brother Danny is going to be riding the final 26-inch Elite later on. Doing incredibly well. Danny as well. I mean, they're a great training partner. They're super motivated brother and sister, and they really push each other. And that's why Vera's become such a strong force. So here we go. She's got loads of time at the moment. 35 seconds left. And she's going to obviously want to keep that pressure going. Look at that, really confident right up through the middle. 90-degree turn through those markers at the end.
25 seconds still.
Here we go. A nice pedal up to back wheel. This is just a lot of quick movements now. Yeah, putting the front wheel on. She's got 14 seconds. Running out of time. To back wheel down. And 60 points again. Vera.
Oh. Well, that's not just keeping the pressure on. That is turning up the pressure all the way to 11 there. I mean, we just absolutely ramped it. It's just, was there anything in there that made you think she's going to look vulnerable? She was just
solid.
Cool and calm there.
Yeah, and really good pacing as well. So it's really about pacing, because if you rush something too much, obviously you've got more chance of losing balance. And also, you kind of start to get more pump in your arms and your legs. There's more chance of you making a mistake, you fatigue faster. So she paced it really well to have exactly the right amount of time to get out the end there.
Well, can Nina Reichenbach match that? She is still chasing. She wants that title back. We're on section 4, the last rider in section 4. 20 points on the clock and keeps on moving.
Yep, so here we go. Gate number 3, hooking that front wheel. Yeah, no dramas with that switch up there. This is where, in Nina's position, each move can become a lot harder, because you get those nerves just building up, and they're kind of, you know, it starts affecting you, and you think, right, I've just got to go straight, and then you can just make these silly little mistakes. But Nina, 4 times world champion, hoping that she's going to be 5 times world champion by the end of today. Oh, that log as well on the screen, it doesn't look very steep, but riding down that is really, really steep. So working her way up. I'll tell you what though, look at that. She's got 35 seconds, so she has got the time. But this pedal up here is quite awkward. Not for Nina, of course.
just making it look easy almost on the way through. It's just like not even blinking on the way through. And it could well come down to that last section. The competitor's already going off and looking and seeing what state it's in. Nina doesn't need to look in front that far, I don't think. I mean, wow.
Look at that. Perfect timing as well. So, both Nina and Vera on full marks after 4 sections. So it is really going to come down to this literally one last section. See a couple of highlights here. Nina's killer ride. And this next last section, oh, this is going to be interesting.
Behind, it's still very tight as well. You can see Nina on here. I mean, she made this with time to spare. She looks good at the moment, but she can't do any more at the moment, can she? She is pushing and pushing. And as we come out of the 4th section here, we've got 3 riders on 150 points. We've got 2 riders on 240. The battle is crazy here. I mean, it's just going to be so close.
It's literally down to this last section, which, as you can see now, as Leia starts section 5, it's in the water. It's really slippery. Now, this means that the chances of like every little mistake are going to be massively amplified. You can be somewhere where you think is completely solid, and then your tyres, you can see there, sand, water all over the tyres. Look at that. She's absolutely flying through there. Even the elite riders yesterday on that were going more cautiously through there.
I'll tell you something there as well. You look at everybody else, they're all trying to hydrate, and you reach this stage, they've been competing now, they're onto the last section, And that is when dehydration, I mean, it's the biggest killer for performance, isn't it?
Absolutely,
and you're going to lose strength, you're going to be starting to lose the balance, and your brain just doesn't work as well. And you can't drink enough, and you can't drink in between very easily if you wound up as well.
I'd actually say that, like, if you've ridden any other kind of bike sport, you should really give trials a go, and just then you can get a really good appreciation of just how tricky and how difficult and actually physically demanding it is, because it's a bit more like boxing really, because you're just constantly holding the brakes, holding the bars, whole body's moving, jumping up and down for 2 minutes at a time. Oh, so close. Look at her fighting it.
She nearly held it about twice there on the way down. She's getting the applause there, and I'm not surprised.
The sand killed her there.
Not to be her day today.
The end of the World Championship, round 4. Leia, she did a fantastic job there. I know she'll be a little bit disappointed with a couple of mistakes, but still to be in the finals is a massive achievement. She's riding very, very well.
Well, you can see her here. I mean, it was like 2, 3, 4 bites of cherry, and the tyres are caked in sand there, aren't they? The water you can see, it's just like having sticky, almost peanut butter stuck in there with just actually no grip rather than any loads of grip. And I'm not surprised that she got off there and just thought, no, not to be.
Yeah, a bit of a nightmare. As soon as you've gone in the water and then you go back in the sand, oh, nightmare, absolute nightmare. Okay, so Irene Caminos next, making our way onto the boat.
The boat doesn't move,
Danny
does
Paramont's
it?
personal fishing boat, apparently.
Yeah,
so
the boat not moving though, so he's not going to catch much in there on the way through.
It's not moving today. It was moving a little bit yesterday, I tell you. But no, it's nicely secured, so at least that's pretty good. I'm not sure how the fish are enjoying it though. They're probably not enjoying the competition quite so much.
So nicely through the water, really moving quite quickly there. Not worried about getting any debris on this. She's moving it. She's still got 1 minute 16, 1 minute 15 on the clock here. She's into this Emirates by that waterfall.
Yeah, so all the time, what you can't see is all the tiny little adjustments that these riders are actually making. So to try and keep grip on the tyres, you need to move your body and push your weight through your tyres in a very certain way, in all the different aspects and angles and grooves of the rocks. So when they lift each time, it's like, do you keep the weight on the front? Do you keep the weight on the back? Is it left, right? Is it? It's kind of all over the place. Do you put more pressure just pushing back on the back of your hips, or do you put more pressure on the chain? It's really complex. So here we go. Let's see if Renee can make it through gate number 4. 35 seconds left. Oh, just hit a pedal down. You can see the sand there really making it slippery and just making her tyres fly all over the place.
She's pushing her. Look at, she's moved that foot. She's taken 4 ball marks there. You know, got 4 red lights going. She's got no more room for error, but she used that very smart there because it's pushed her over the top. Hasn't it, into this next exit from the water, but she can't afford any mistakes.
I don't know if she'll be awarded that. They did award her that. So each gate is actually, each gate is basically when the rear axle goes through the gate, you get the points. So even if she flipped over the handlebars, as long as her back axle's gone through that centre line, she gets those points.
Wow. So you can see what that means. She's so pleased with that. And it was so marginal, but that was so tactical, going up onto the rock, giving away those chances. She took it to the last chance to lose. She went and pushed it right in here. And she literally threw herself, I think, and the bike straight over the top here.
So you see the back tire just rolled over and they gave it to her.
I think if it had gone sideways any earlier, as the front wheel hit, that would have been, she'd have lost those points. That was a big gamble and it's paid off.
Even if she dived that front wheel down a bit earlier and bailed out over the handlebars too early. Very close. That's where I would not like to be one of the connoisseurs, because you know, you've got to make that decision. Was it in or was it out? And it can mean whether somebody's on the podium or not. You know, it's a big thing. So here we go. We're in with Hilda from Sweden. Rolling down now. It's really quite horrible going into the water, back out into the sand, soaking all of your tyres. At least these girls have twin disc brakes, so the discs are a lot less affected than the rim brakes we're going to see later on by the water and by the sand, which is really a good thing. So up through the waterfall they have built here in Abu Dhabi, and of course we do actually have other disciplines here as well, don't we? We have flatland BMX and freestyle.
Yeah, all here, and I know a lot of the teams out around the side supporting the Swedish team. They came out and they were supporting Hilda, and they're going to be really urging her on here. She needs to score big here. This is it. It doesn't matter what happens after this obstacle. Almost at the end of this run, you can have nothing left. You've got to give everything, because every point here is critical. They were so close coming in, and she's just seen that move out, giving away, but she at the moment is clean. She's got no red light showing on the top of your screen.
Yep, and
she's
look,
got a good chance of keeping this moving. 16 seconds. It's going to get close here.
She's got through that. Is she going to have time? So she's going to be on the same points. If she gets this, did they give it to her? They look at each other. I think they said yes. If they,
yes.
Oh, so she's in third. She jumps up to third. 10 points ahead.
She looked at it. She's like, have I?
Is that the same point? Yeah, 10 points ahead. 10 points ahead. And she had that bad section earlier on. So you know,
that is some comeback, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wise head on young shoulders, because to recover like that and the speed she came off from up there, as she came out off the waterfall into that gully over the rock, I mean, she really motored.
Yeah.
You see what it means. I'm not surprised she's happy.
Right.
What a result. Great to see.
So it's just up to Aleska, I believe, whether she can... If she scores 60 on this, she can still make the podium.
If she can score 60, I mean, we're talking... I mean,
it's close.
Look at that, on the back wheel all the way through there, keeping that front wheel drive very, very smart. Look at the difference in those tyres.
Yeah, that's it. Yesterday, especially with the rim brakes, we were all just keeping the front wheels out. You know, like you put the front wheel down and your brake's not as good. You don't have as much like traction on the rock. It's a complete nightmare. So here we go. Come on. Just off to the left through this waterfall. You can imagine it takes a long time and a lot of thought and preparation to build all of these sections as well. So big thanks to the organisers for putting in all that effort to make such a spectacular and good-looking course for us to ride and enjoy, and decide who's going to be the next world champion.
And it comes down to the very last section of the very last run, just about, and it's going to be so close. Remember, just a quick reminder, Nina Reichenbach and Vera Bauer tied at the top. This is the fight, though, for the podium. This is for a bronze medal here at the World Championships. Who is going to get the name on there?
She's 20 points and 35 seconds away from deciding whether she's going to be on the podium. Here we go. Oh, yes. She's still clean. Watching that pedal, look. You see the back tyre was right on the edge there. Here we go. Come on, let's go. Come on the back wheel. Making her way across, down into the water.
Time's getting tight. She's got to move now on 15 seconds.
Going to be close. It's going to be very, very close. Oh, she's got through. Oh, that's 5. She's out. So she's going to end on 40, which will put her on 200 as well, I believe. What the scores?
So Hilda Anderson on 200 hoots. So look at that.
So Hilda's secure into 3rd place.
That was so tight. It literally came
thanks to the crowd.
Yeah, it's close. So Hilda Anderson looks like that is going to be a security for her into the bronze medal position. But what happened? I mean, what a run here. She pushed all the way, and very smart riding here through the water. But it came down to this last section. She almost managed to keep it under control and stay in the line, which would then have given her the chance for them to go for more points.
Yeah, just overbalancing and over that white line, and over the that white line signifies the edge of the section, so you're not allowed above that horizontal line above that point. So here we go. Vera is in. Her bid all comes down to the last section between Vera and Nina to decide who's going to be the next world champion.
So come on, this is what it's about. Come on, Andre, you're the expert.
I don't want to place bets, so I'm definitely not placing bets between these two.
Don't you go sitting on the fence, you're going to get splinters, mate.
To be honest, I could flip a coin, I just have no idea.
Well, if Andre says that he can't decide, well, we're going to watch this closely, as our commissaires do as well. It's going to come down to the slightest mistake here. Vera setting off first.
Back tyre was sliding about all over the place there. She did well to keep that in control. But she knows, Vera knows she's going to go fast. So look at that, cutting that corner straight down, hold on back wheel, twist all the way around. We saw all the other girls so far go all the way to the bottom and come back up. So she saved a lot of time there.
Didn't pick up any sand at the bottom either, did she?
No,
Kept
exactly.
her tyres clean, kept the wheels clean, straight into the water again, on the back wheel through there as well.
You'll notice that she's got a front rim brake instead of a front disc, so that's why she's also wanted to keep the front wheel out. And she's going to have to try and get this clean. How long she got? 40 seconds left.
She's got months. She's in a different calendar month, I think, with time. It's going to come down to this, so isn't it? Look at that.
Holding that.
Oh,
no! Oh, lost her balance. That's a 50. Oh, she might. It's the only margin that. So Nina's now got to get 50, and Nina will win on count back. So it's really important now. Nina needs to keep it together, get 50 points. And Vera might have just given that away, but
I'm
Nina's
not sure
still
that
got
was
to get
a giveaway.
through, you know, like, oh.
So here we go. Vera Barron on her run in here. Really smart run. And as Andre pointed out, that rim brake on the front, Andre, really important to keep it out of the water because it is much more affected by the water. No matter how much grinding, how much abrasion you do to the front rim to get extra grip, you're not going to get anything that overcomes the fact that you put it in the drink and, you know.
Exactly. Disc brakes are just better in the wet. It's as simple as that. They're just so much less affected.
Okay.
They're very happy. What a great view with that amazing building in the background.
Yeah,
well,
we've got the National Tower overlooking this, a prime view from any of the windows that side. But here comes Nina Reichenbach. She has got to nail this. She's got to get 50 to win it on countback. She's got to clean it and run all the way through to get it clean on points.
I mean, ideally, she's going to want to get a 60 to get it definite. But a little slip here, anywhere along here, and this is very, very slippery. I know, I've ridden it yesterday.
This is proper pressure on Nina. Look at she's got to stay in the moment on the rock. Yeah. This is where we saw Vera go onto the rock, not dropping down into the sand.
Oh, cameraman going over to see what Vera's thinking.
I think if I were Vera, I wouldn't be watching.
Oi, cameraman, go back. What's Nina doing?
This is seriously brave watching that because Nina, that shows confidence to the camera team. I think in the fact that that Nina was going to get straight up on that, and she does. No,
but Nina went all the way down to the bottom and turned around and came back. I think because of the time that she was on there, even though we couldn't see through our screen.
And the sand on the back tire as well, and one on the front, but through there. Less time, she knows 3 seconds.
She knows that she just needs to get through this gate.
This is for the medal. This is for the medal. This is for gold, or is it going to be silver?
Oh,
and she stays in.
Keeps in.
She stays in.
Can she get 60?
Can she finish this with a 60?
Oh,
they know that's over. That was a shrug of her shoulders there. Well, she got 10 seconds. Is she going to clean this? Come on.
60. Come on.
She wants to get a perfect score.
Oh, no. Doesn't matter. She's done enough.
Wow.
Yes, Nina.
Well, that was a proper result.
Amazing.
She took that out there, didn't she, Andre? And I mean, what she took that by basically riding further than anybody else, and that is exactly what we wanted to see.
That's her training partner and coach there. That's Jonas Friedrich. They've done a lot of training together and really helped push each other this year. And that's amazing. She's going to be absolutely stoked. I know how much this means to her. This is absolutely brilliant. Well, German team very, very happy there. Incredible. Nina Reichenbach, your 2022 UCI Trials World Champion. She takes her 5th Elite World Champion title. That's pretty amazing.
That's pretty awesome, isn't it? And I mean, showing that she's good. She's got a long way to go to equal the most titles ever. Let's face it, that is
Karen Moore from Switzerland, 10 times world champion.
She's halfway there now.
She's halfway there
now, and there's still plenty of riders, I'm sure, in Nina.
She's got plenty of time to still win more, but Vera is going to be there nipping at her heels.
And look at that. There's shakes of the head there about just how amazing that was, and that was fantastic to see. Here we go. This run, Andre, the winning moves, it really came down to what she did here.
Yeah, it literally came down to just this last section, didn't it? I mean, just really had to stay composed. A lot of pressure on her for this last move. And that's it, literally back axle through. Oh, look at that. Oh, good fight.
That must have been within millimetres of going over the end. And then this is where she knew.
She's just like, whatever, I've won, it's fine. It doesn't matter anymore. Just get me off the bike, I'm done.
What an amazing result there. And
Holiday
that is,
now.
Yeah, it is. It's a great way to run. And she takes back that title from Vera Barron, exchanging places with Nina from last year's championship. And it's been an absolutely fantastic and such a close contest. So,
Very close.
you can see the points. Let's give you a roundup. Esquis in 6th place with 170 points. Kamenos at 190 in 5th. Freakover in 190 points at 4th place. And then into the 200s. 200 for Anderson with the bronze medal. 290 points apiece for Vera Baron and Nina Reichenbach. But it all came down to the fact that the German rider had got the better performance in the semi-finals, and that penalty in the semi-finals
the penalty, Vera
was
kind
critical.
of gave it away there because she, like, I'm sure she didn't mean to do it, but she must have made a mistake on her second lap and forgot to get her section punched. So, you know, and that's it. These little tiny mistakes, and I wouldn't say she's given it away, but she definitely gave Nina a little bit.
She's going to be regretting that, and that's a lesson that she's going to learn. And I think that's something that's probably one of those coaching lessons that people are going to give out. And of course, it's one of those things when you come and learn to go into competition. When we talk about punching out, of course, when the riders go into the semi-finals, they have a card. They have to get it punched. It's not just a simple run because there are 6 riders competing simultaneously out on the course. But Nina Reichenbach, I mean, not only did she get every single bit of the card punched, she gave out a flawless performance here, and she was behind. She knew she was behind from the start. She was having to chase what was a really good score and a ride up to the last move.
Yeah, I know, right up to the last move. Yeah, that was crazy close. Crazy close.
And this UCI section here, going up on to the rock and over the letters, I mean, Vera really ramped up the pressure there by nailing that and doing that when it was the 2 Spaniards and, of course, Nina, who went over there. So only half the race, half the field in competition going over the top. I mean, it showed the difference between the medalists, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it also shows that just, you know, under pressure, Nina's pretty comfortable. You know, like keeping you cool. That's exactly the point where I would definitely make a mistake.
So cool under pressure and able to celebrate once she hit the end. So let's get the thoughts of your 2022 World Champion. It's Nina Reichenbach.
You are the new World Champion. The title is back to you. How do you feel in this exciting final that has been decided at the last section, at the last gate?
I think mentally this was one of the hardest and toughest finals ever. Vera and me, we were so close, getting 60 in all 4 sections, and then the last section, the waterfall section. For me in the semi-final, it was the hardest one. And yeah, then I saw Vera doing 50, and I was like, kind of okay, 50 will be fine as well. And then I made it to the last gate, and then I think I was like, okay, now I'm the world champion. Okay, that's it, and I'm so happy. Yeah.
Perfect. Congratulations.
So great to hear from Vera there, and what a result for her. I mean, we know she's absolute class, but that was some serious riding, and she knew she had to get that right. One mistake, she couldn't afford to drop 10 points at all on the way through.
Incredible. Yeah, I just don't know how they cope with the pressure, you know. Well, I mean, I guess I've been there as well. I've been competing for like 20 years. But yeah, I mean, it's just so much pressure. Done incredibly well. Let's watch some highlights from that Women's World Championship.
Vera, congratulations. The silver medal is for you. It's an exciting event.
Okay, so let's hear from our next rider down at the finish. Here is Vera.
This competition today.
Well, I was thinking that were the two last minutes of this season, so I was thinking, okay, you have to be full gas, and if you have to destroy yourself in the section, you have to go for it.
For you, what has been the most difficult section or most difficult part of gate in the competition?
Well, I think the most difficult section for me was the log section, because it's like really tricky, and I'm really bad on that, but I did it really good, so I'm really happy.
So you scored 60, 60, I think 50 in
no,
one?
everything 60
yeah, okay.
in one, 50.
So you're super close. So imagine that how you manage your mentally in the last section, because it's fulfilling for you, even for Nina.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult, but I did it really good. Only in the last gate, I was like really nervous, because I was thinking, okay, 60 or nothing. And when I go back wheels, the back will go out of the section, so, well, things happen.
So now you take a day's holiday days, days off, thinking on the 2023. And I imagine the focus is again back to the rainbow jersey. How do you plan to prepare the 2023?
Well, I think this is a really big motivation for next year. I think I will train harder. I think that's what I need. And we will see, full gas.
Well, full gas is a great statement, isn't it? And it's how does she come back from this? But we've seen Nina do that this time around, and they've just traded places there. But top three, all over 200 points there. A big gap, though, to Nina Reichenbach and Vera Baron. But Hilda Anderson, third place, closing down, and a great recovery from what was an earlier mistake. And I thought that really showed some real maturity from one of the younger competitors in the competition.
Yeah, I was going to say Hilda's actually 7 years younger than Nina, so you know she's got time to make it up. I mean, you know, like all these girls are still really improving, and what's really nice is that these girls are just pushing the sport so much.
And some amazing technique being shown, and some amazing muscle. And really, I think it showed just how strong they were coming through. Some of these sections, the palm sections, I thought were good. And the Spanish team, from being on edge very early on in the competition, you could see almost as we went through the competition, they settled into it. They realised that they were putting the pressure on, that actually, no matter what was happening, they were keeping actually that pressure there, and they were starting to really push, and maybe enough to trouble Nina.
Yeah, but ultimately, apparently not.
Well, so it played out, didn't it? And another great ride.
Could have gone either way.
Yeah, great riding from our Czech rider, and it was great to see Aliska Prikova on the course. Another of our younger riders, and by the end of it, I mean, she was frustrated at the end of her run, and she didn't need to be, did she? I mean, to get to a World Championship final in its own right is some doing it.
Yeah.
And then to move on from that, we're going to be heading up to Glasgow next year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the progression and see if we can see the riders outside of those top two really start to push, and that will add another dynamic, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it'll be interesting, because of course, like, everybody has their own style and their own technique and what they prefer riding. So depending on the course and how they design it next year, it could be better for one or the other, and you don't know, and you just got to hope that you train the right things and ride the right way, and you turn up and go like, oh, this is good, or this ain't great for me. So you've got to train everything and just hope that it kind of plays to your strengths, and that you can ride well and pull it out on the day. You know, even the best rider can get a cold, or you know, you get a puncture as you ride into the section, or your chain breaks or something, and so it can really go either way. You just got to stay as consistent as you can. Well, I'm really looking forward to Glasgow next year as well. Actually, it'd be great to have it in the UK.
I think it's going to be really interesting, because we're going from 33 degrees.
Yeah, it won't be 33 degrees.
It's not going to be 33 degrees in Glasgow. I don't get me wrong, I love out riding around Scotland. I spent a lot of time riding and enjoying mountain biking and riding out around the streets of Glasgow and actually out and racing around there. But I have to say, it's not going to be scorching hot 33 degrees, but that's the whole thing about trials, and it takes place, and it can vary. I mean, okay, we're going to be coming back here in 2 years' time, but by then we could be on another different course.
We competed in driving rain, in freezing cold, you know, like a few years ago I mean, I've competed in monsoons in Japan. I mean, you know, it's crazy, whether it's 35 degrees, whether it's 10 degrees and raining, you know, it's all trials, it's good, it's all a challenge. That's what we like, a challenge.
Well, a real challenge and some fantastic skills on show. But Nina Reichenbach, I mean, looking at her run here, she really just stayed composed, and you can see that focus. You know, there's the obstacle, there's the bike, there's the tyre, there's the body. It's where she's going, and there's nothing outside. And we might be in the most astounding place here in Abu Dhabi, in amongst the United Arab Emirates, but she's in her own world there.
Yeah, she is, yeah. She's in her own little bubble, just like, I want that jersey back. She got it. But it is a very cool place, actually. I've really enjoyed my time here so far in Abu Dhabi. And I've been to Dubai and all over the place before, but haven't been to Abu Dhabi yet. So it's a really lovely place. And I think they've done a great job with this event. It's very nice of them to host us.
It is
Looking
indeed.
forward to being back in. Well, hopefully I'll be back in 2024. Who knows?
We will find out. We're going to see just which of these riders are going to be coming back to fight. The moment that Nina realised, kind of like it almost took her from the previous obstacle to there to go, do you know what? I don't need to do this.
Yeah, I don't need to carry on now. I'm done. I've won. Woohoo!
She almost rolled away in and across. And you can just see here the course just getting a little bit of a breather. The wind actually just picking up a little bit here. It's not been really a major factor at this point. I mean, it's only 5 miles an hour, 8 kilometres an hour. It's not due to pick up, and that is going to be something the riders are going to be sort of. It's a twin-edged sword because it keeps the temperature down, but it would change
keeps the temperature down, but it makes you really, like, if it's really breezy, it can just throw you off completely. I mean, it really affects the bikes. The bikes only weigh like 7 kilos, so they just get blown around in the wind, and it can be a complete nightmare. So it's quite nice at the moment for it to be cool. And don't forget, guys, we're going to be back with the 20 and 26-inch elite men finals in just a few hours.
Yeah, it's not going to be all that long. Before that, we're going to have our podium for our riders. So we're going to be seeing our riders being presented with the medals, and really looking forward to seeing the riders receiving the congratulations of the crowd. They're just making the way to the podium. You can see we're here in the heart of Abu Dhabi, and we're here actually right in the middle of the Bike Abu Dhabi Festival, and some great action here. We've got lots of activities going on, and Abu Dhabi, home of so many great events. We've just seen the Trials Women's Elite, and you can see on your screen those final point scores. And what is so impressive is that run of perfect scores through the first 4 sections, and then both riders tied at the end. And what it doesn't tell you, of course, is that it all came down to a mistake in the semi-finals by Vera Baron.
Yes.
Had that not been the case, then it would have been a whole different story, and it may well be that Vera had been able to maintain the lead, but who knows? And that's the great thing, isn't it, about trials riding?
That's how it goes.
It's so marginal, you know. One grain of sand in the wrong place, that boat moving in, you know, just rocking just that tiny little bit in the breeze. Anything can happen to the riders on the way around, and it's been warm enough. We've seen people getting punctures with the heat. There's been a lot.
I had 2 punches before I even started the competition.
And what about the bike? It's certainly been really warm. It's continues to do so. The breeze actually just picking up outside.
How did it affect the BMXs?
So the BMX flatland, it didn't at all. It was in the most sheltered spot ever.
They've got a great area.
We're going to see, but one of the great things here is that because we are in what is a purpose-built arena, there has been some very smart work done in putting grandstands to block the breeze and the prevailing wind in around. So even in the park, it shouldn't play too much of a part when the guy's going in onto the big jumps. So some smart design to minimise the effect of the breeze, because of course nobody wants an accident, and that's something that's true of the trials as well. And I have to say, the team here behind the scenes, the medical teams, the safety officers, they're there and doing an amazing job. And people get hurt. Injuries are part of it. You jump about.
We
but
saw some big
overall,
crashes yesterday.
Yeah, big crashes. But I think most of the riders, well, all the riders back up and quickly off. No need to stop the competition. Pretty much everything just rolling its way through, and that is part of the game. But it is a rarity, you know. We see when it's practice, hours and hours of practice, days and days, weeks and weeks, and it's playing on the bike. You know, that's how most people start, isn't it? You know, we all go play on the bike, and whether you are riding for a world championship, or whether you are just mucking about, you know, I've come off. I think probably have more accidents riding down fire roads and big wide tracks than I ever have. I certainly have more serious ones. I've knocked myself out twice on fire roads, but I haven't on anything else. And that is just because it's not that focus. You know, you're not focusing on it. It's that little bit of relaxing, and then boom, it takes. So it can happen anywhere. And I'd say certainly cycle sport and watching the trials, people are really pushing themselves to the limit.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see what happens in the 20 and 26 inch elite later on. I mean, it's going to be really, really exciting. I mean, everybody at the top end of the sport. You know, it could really go either way. I wouldn't put money on who's going to win either. Yeah, I'm quite excited to see what's going to happen later.
So something great.
And we've got British. We've got a British rider in both finals, which is really
not at all partisan commentary going to be coming from Andre on the way through.
No, I stay very impartial. We're all like, you know, I mean, I guess most cool sports are like that. You know, you have a good community, and I actually train. I probably train more with like international riders. Well, I do. I train a lot more with international riders than I do with British riders. So we're all friends. Everybody, whether they're German, Swedish, Spanish, French, whatever, we're all friends. We all train together, you know, and so it's all cool. You know, you want people to have a good ride, do well. Whoever wins. That's great. You know, like there's.
It's a big global family, isn't it? And I mean, for me, I'm lucky enough to go along and to watch and to see so many different disciplines within cycling underneath the umbrella of the UCI, the governing body for cycling across the globe. And the family of cycling is huge, and it's one big family. And of course, we all love it when we get winners, and that is, you know, just within that. And I think when you bring together like the urban that we've got here, we saw it in the reaction to the win by the riders. And I'm not going to give any spoilers in case people haven't watched it. The riders in the flatland that we've seen, and we'll see the same, I'm sure, in Park. The reaction is amazing. Yes, the Park coming up tomorrow. That reaction is going to be. It's always one of a big family. Everybody, and even if when you get beaten, you know you gave it pretty much everything. You might be frustrated, but that's not for the now. The now is who you're going to be on there. And I know that when we come to our podiums, which are hopefully not going to be all that long, because the sun is steadily beating down. It's going to be baking the riders at the moment. So once we go to our podiums, we are going to be able to bring you those hopefully very shortly. We're going to see all of the family giving the applause and giving the congratulations to those riders. So here we go. We are going to be bringing our riders and our podium party up on to the stage for the 2022 Urban Cycling World Championships, the Trials Women's Elite Award ceremony. Our top three competitors making the way up to the podium, and it's going to be a World Championship jersey heading back on to the shoulders of Nina Reichenbach. So the party making the way up onto the stage, and you can see the riders lined up ready to receive their awards.
and jersey will be presented by M. Jose Luis Saron, the UCI Management Committee member and President of the Trials Commission.
سيتم تقديم الميداليات والقميص من قبل السيد خوسيه لويس سيريون عضو لجنة إدارة UCI ورئيس لجنة الحكام.
In third place and winner of the bronze medal representing Sweden.
في المركز الثالث والفائزة بالميدالية البرونزية من السويد
Hilda Andersson.
So a bronze medal for Hilda Andersson from Sweden, and that medal meaning it's her first medal in the World Championships here today.
In second place and winner of the silver medal representing Spain.
في المركز الثاني والفائزة بالميدالية الفضية من إسبانيا
Last year's world champion, second place this time, and already looking forward to 2023. Vera Baron from Spain with the silver medal.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, in first place, your UCI World Champion and winner of the gold medal representing Germany.
في المركز الأول بطلة العالم في UCI والفائزة بالميدالية الذهبية من ألمانيا
Nina Reichenbach.
So Nina Reichenbach, after 4 wins then, being deposed by Vera Baron, comes back to pull on the white jersey with those rainbow bands. Once again, a world champion presented with that jersey and the gold medal here today in Abu Dhabi. It is your 2022 Urban Cycling World Champion, your elite women's trials champion. It is, of course, Nina Reichenbach from Germany.
The General Secretary of the High Organization for People of Determination.
دعونا نرحب بمقدم الظهور سعادة عبد الله عبد العلي الحميدان الأمين العام لمؤسسة زايد العليا لأصحاب الإيمان.
So the riders are receiving their flowers, receiving the medals, and of course the jersey going on to the shoulders of Nina Reichenbach here in Abu Dhabi for the 2022 Urban Cycling World Championships. Our women's trials riders putting on an amazing show here today. You can see your medalists there from Sweden, Spain and Germany, and they received the watch. We'll shortly be hearing the national anthem of Germany, and then after that we'll be having a little reflection back on our thoughts on the competition.
We present the national anthem of Germany.
سيداتي وسادتي تكريما لبطلتنا العالمية الجديدة في UCI نقدم لكم النشيد الوطني لألمانيا.
So Nina Reichenbach, your 2022 UCI Trials Women's World Champion, your medalists up on the stage, and they now will have have plenty of pictures as well as social media heading out there into the big wide world. And as they go forward, there's going to be the traditional biting of the medal, trying not to chip their teeth. I'm lucky enough to have been joined here for the Women's Trials Championships by Andre Berta, 6 times British champion. Andre, we saw some incredible action. We saw a very tight run for that gold medal. And I think the standard of riding has been absolutely phenomenal, and we're seeing that improvement time and time again.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic, and especially these 2 girls out ahead, just absolutely dominating the field there. They're really pushing things, but the other girls are definitely nipping at their heels. A little bit more experience, another year of practice before the World Championships, and hopefully they'll be up there fighting for the podium again as well.
So from me, Matt Payne, I'll be back with Andre for the next of our Trials Championships. So from all of us from Abu Dhabi, we'll see you again soon.
Thanks very much.
سيقوم بتسليم الزهور